1800s, Britain said it wanted trade. It said it came in peace. But what it brought to China was something else. It wasn't soldiers at first. It wasn't war. It was a drug. Bricks of opium, packed in wooden chests, shipped from India straight into Chinese ports. Sold by British merchants, protected by British gunboats, backed by the British Crown. At first, it was hidden. Then it spread fast. Addiction swept through China. From farmers to generals, from cities to villages, from rich to poor, millions became hooked. China tried to stop it, but Britain didn't like that. It sent warships. It fired cannons. It forced China to open its doors, not with peace, but with pain. This is the true story of how one empire used drugs, not just to trade, but to take. China didn't need anything from Britain, not their wool, not their clocks, not their steel. China had everything it needed: tea, silk, porcelain. And in return, they wanted only one thing: silver. But Britain was running out of silver. They needed another way to pay. So they looked to India. There they forced farmers to grow poppy plants. They cut them open and collected the sticky white sap. That sap was turned into a drug. Opium. It was cheap to make, easy to sell, and hard to stop using once it began. Britain didn't sell it at home. It was banned in England, but they shipped tons of it to China. By the 1830s, millions of Chinese people were addicted. Men stopped working. Families lost everything. Children watched their parents waste away in smoke-filled dens. One man decided to fight back. His name was Lin Zexu. He was a Chinese official, smart, brave, and respected. In 1839, he ordered British merchants in Canton to give up their opium. He destroyed more than 20,000 chests of it, right there on the beach, and he wrote a letter to Queen Victoria asking her to stop the trade. He asked, "Would you let this happen to your own people?" But the Queen never replied. Instead, she sent warships. The warships came fast, big ships with cannons, steam engines, and iron armor. China had old wooden boats. Britain had the latest machines. There was no match. In 1840, British ships bombed Chinese forts along the coast. They sank boats. They destroyed towns. They moved closer to the big cities. One ship became a symbol, HMS Nemesis. It was the first iron steam-powered warship ever seen in Asia. It could move through shallow rivers, and it carried heavy guns. No place was safe now, not even cities far from the sea. The British sailed up the Yangtze River. They fired at cities along the way. People ran, soldiers gave up. China had to surrender. In 1842, the war ended with the Treaty of Nanking. China was forced to give Britain the island of Hong Kong, pay millions in silver, open 5 cities to British trade, and let British citizens live in China under British law. But worst of all, Britain didn't stop selling opium. They sold more of it. They made it cheaper, and the addiction got worse. China had lost the war, but the suffering was just beginning. Even after losing the First War, China still tried to push back. It still wanted to stop the opium, but Britain wanted more. More ports, more power, more opium sold across China. Then, in 1856, things exploded again. A small Chinese police force boarded a ship called the Arrow. It was flying a British flag, and China said it was breaking the law. Britain said it was an insult. It used the moment to start another war. This time, France joined in too. They both wanted more rights in China, more land, more deals. The British bombed Canton again. French troops marched inland. Chinese forts were destroyed. Cities were burned. And in 1860, something terrible happened. British and French soldiers reached Beijing. They marched to the emperor's beautiful summer palace, a place full of art, history, and ancient treasure. They looted it. Then they set it on fire. It burned for days. The emperor ran from the city. His brother, Prince Gong, was forced to sign a new deal. The Treaty of Tientsin and the Convention of Peking gave the British and French the right to open more Chinese cities, the right to build embassies in Beijing, huge payments in silver. And the worst part is the right to sell opium legally. From that moment, the drug trade wasn't just allowed. It was protected by law. China had lost again, and now the poison was legal. The empire that once called it just trade left behind a shattered nation, tens of millions of lives destroyed, not just by war, but by smoke, by silence, by greed. China didn't forget. It couldn't. The pain lasted long after the treaties were signed, long after the palaces stopped burning, even long after the opium stopped flowing. Generations grew up in the shadow of that loss. In history books, it was called the Century of Humiliation, but to the people who lived it, it was more than humiliation. It was hunger, it was sorrow, it was addiction passed from parent to child, a country robbed not only of its silver, but of its strength. In Britain, it became richer. Its empire stretched across the globe. Its cities were built on tea, silver, and drugs. Today, the wars are over, but the story isn't. The memory remains of a time when the world's strongest empire used a drug to break one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. Not with tanks, not with bombs, but with a pipe.